And if you haven't guessed already, these Divine Beasts will serve as our quote-unquote dungeons for the game.
You're here. I must say that I am so happy to see that this day has finally arrived. Now, Ruta can be freed of Ganon's control. You'll need a map to prevent you from getting lost.
Who needs a map? I know exactly where I'm going. I don't need no stupid map.
The guidance stone there contains the information that you will need.
I don't need no stupid map. Who are you to tell me I need a map? I don't need a map. But, you know, it's probably a good idea to at least humor her. So we'll humor her. We'll go get the map. You want us to get the map? We'll get the map. We'll put the Sheikah Slate in the stone, and we'll get the map. If it's that important for us to not get lost, I guess we'll just take the map and go. I mean, if you're indicating that the only thing it's good for is not getting lost, I guess it couldn't be of any hurt.
Good. You've obtained the map of the Divine Beast. You will see several glowing points on your map which represent the terminals that control Ruta. Take Ruta back by activating all of the terminals. Be careful.
Now here's the issue I have. When Mipha is explaining what the map is used for, she leaves out the most critical use of the map. And the reason why this dungeon is completely incapable of being finished without the map. And it only comes up in the top right-hand corner of the screen for a few seconds. And it's gone. This map not only serves as a way of finding your way around, but you can also adjust different aspects of the Divine Beast when you have the map. So the Divine Beast is more than just, I've never noticed that in the water before. Or if I have, I never bothered to get it again because it's completely useless, which is it. Completely useless. Oh hey, you're here. And now you're not. So the thing about the map is that when you're introduced to the Divine Beasts, and as you can imagine, this isn't exclusive to Ruta. When you first get the map, or you're first directed to get the map,
There are 4 terminals remaining. Don't give up.
you're only told that the map will help you not get lost, or help you figure out how to get around. But never once do they verbally tell you the most important part of the map, and why it's such a critical element to most of these places. Oh, you're actually gonna fight me. So let's see, I have Cryonis. Let's see, let's wait until this is in the right place. I always do it early, so I don't think it's this one. I think it's the next one. There we go. And it makes me wonder...
There are 3 terminals remaining. You can do it.
if they recorded all of these voice lines... That's not the way out. If they recorded all the voice lines before they actually implemented using the map to control different aspects of the Divine Beast. I wonder if I want to move it before we go. I forget, is it 3 or 5 we want to move it to? We'll try moving it to 3. I think that guy always spawns no matter how quickly you try to kill it. But this is the part that stumped me for a good 30 minutes. Realizing that you could move the trunk and it adjusts how the water is being spouted throughout the dungeon. And it's moving that water that gets the other aspects of the dungeon to move. So if you don't know that, there's no way for you to keep the ball in this slot while this goes around, opening up the door that leads to the terminal. So as long as we have that ball stasis in place, the cage in here will not close, and we'll be able to activate the terminal.
There are 2 terminals remaining. You're nearly there.
I feel like, especially considering this is the first dungeon that a lot of players will probably encounter... I don't want to do this. Can I stand on this? Good. Some of these have the calamity goop on it that you can't walk on. But considering this is the first dungeon that a lot of players are likely to encounter, it's usually something that players will falter on their first time through because they don't realize that the map actually has a secondary function, which is in fact its primary function, that the game, for whatever reason, doesn't think is important enough to tell you verbally. I don't know why that is. It may have been the fact that they recorded the voice clips before. I'm actually curious if other languages incorporate the use of the map in the verbal dialogue or not, because English clearly doesn't. But it's much more important to communicate that than it is to say, oh hey, you should probably get the map so you don't get lost. I mean, that's of very little use. But the dungeons in this game are less like dungeons and more like one giant puzzle.
Just 1 terminal remaining. I have faith in you.
And as a result of that, if you understand how they work, and you know what you're doing... I think I want it on 5. These will go incredibly quickly. I think it'll still spout one out. Yeah. Oh, I was supposed to stay up there. If you know what you're doing, these go by very, very quickly. And if you do one of the other ones before this one, you'll actually gain access to something that makes them go by even faster if you know what you're doing. But I think this one's gone by fast enough that we don't necessarily need the help.
You activated all the terminals. Now you can start the main control unit. There should be a new glowing mark on your map. Head there. Be careful not to let your guard down.
Gee, I wonder why you would say that. Maybe we should prepare. Let's see, what do I want to go in with? Do I want to use that? I guess we could use that. Yeah, I think we're looking good. So I just wish that they communicated the primary use of the map better than they do, with just 1 or 2 text boxes and nothing else. That's really my only major gripe with the Divine Beasts, aside from the fact that they're all incredibly short if you know what you're doing. But my first time going through here, figuring out all the puzzles, I had a really good time.
Please take care. That thing is one of Ganon's creations. I put up as much of a fight as I could, but it proved to be my demise 100 years ago. Regardless, I believe that you are well prepared for this moment. I have faith in you.
So we have bosses in this game. That hurt. Well, that wasn't doing as much damage as I was hoping it would do. Usually if you get 2 quick hits in succession, or at least 2 quick hits in the eye in succession, he'll go down. So that's what I was hoping would happen. And of course, since we have relatively powerful weapons, this won't be as difficult as it may have otherwise been. Although chances are you have some spare shock arrows at least, and I think they're pretty effective against this guy.
Careful. Not much.
Another thing that's effective... Let's see if I can pull it off. I think I'm gonna drown. Or you know what? I have the extra stamina wheel. Let's deal with that. Oh, that's all I got, really. I wasted half a stamina wheel for that. Now you have to dive to the side, otherwise if you jump forward, Link will just dive into the water. So you want to make sure that doesn't happen. But like most things in this game, if you know what you're doing, and you have strong enough tools, not really much of a problem. I kind of like how the pillars raising, with the raising water, is similar to the, what was it, Morpha in Ocarina of Time? The water temple? And we're forced to get a heart container instead of a stamina vessel. So for the first time, we now have a 4th heart. A red heart. And when we activate the final terminal, the Divine Beast is cut off from us permanently. Now there isn't anything in terms of treasure in this dungeon that counts towards a completion percentage. Everything that's in here you can acquire through other means. But it's nice that they at least let you know you'll never be able to come back.
Hello, Link. Because of your courage, my spirit is now free. And Ruta as well. Thank you. For I am now allowed by this freedom to be with you once again. Since I am now a spirit, my healing power would be wasted on me. I have no need of it. So therefore, I would like you to have it. Please accept Mipha's grace. Yesterday, I was awash in a pool of tears. I had nearly given up hope and resigned myself to being trapped here as a spirit for the rest of eternity. But now you're here. All this time, my hope was to see you once more. Promise me that you will not hesitate to call upon my power if you ever find yourself in need. Knowing that will let my spirit rest in peace. I must go. Ruta and I have our roles to fulfill. We are both honored to be able to play the role of support. We'll annihilate Ganon together. Farewell. Save her, Link. Save the princess. Save Princess Zelda.
Now, one thing I neglected to mention while we were fighting from the outside and from the inside of Vah Ruta is that I love the music for both sequences. When you're outside and you're on Sidon's back and you're doing that slow motion shock arrow shooting at the shoulders, it's one of the most thrilling events in the game if you don't know what's coming. It really gets the blood flowing, and the music suits that so well, I just can't put it into words. And when you finally get inside Vah Ruta, and you realize that Mipha's spirit has been trapped there for 100 years, and that Ganon sent a piece of himself to take it over and brutally massacre a young girl who had basically no chance to fight back. The music, it's like a haunted toy box, not toy box, but like a music box. It's so fitting, it's so haunting and eerie. It's perfect. And the fact that you have to deal with that while you're solving all the puzzles just adds another layer to it. I really like it.
Ruta, we found a way to be useful to Link, and the other champions, of course. Our job will be to help Link as he fights Ganon inside the castle, however we can. Using your ability to drain Ganon of his power is key to our success. This is it. This will be our last chance, and everyone's last hope. If we seal him away, then we can restore peace to Hyrule. And both your duty and mine will be fulfilled. Father, are you well, I wonder? I want you to know I have always followed my heart. I'm sorry I made you worry. I wish I could see you again. Even just once more.
And with Vah Ruta completed, we return to a now sunny Zora's domain with Mipha's grace, which will immediately revive us with additional temporary hearts should we fall in battle. And with that, we have one of my favorite musical pieces in the game. If you've ever played Ocarina of Time before, this will sound familiar to you. Like a lot of the other similar areas. I mean, in terms of population and whatnot. But before we leave, there's nothing wrong with accepting a little congratulations, right? I mean, one other thing I like about the Zoras in this game in particular is that they have a wide variety of colors rather than just all looking exactly the same. And they do that for all of the races. I mean, not like in... It's not as drastic as with the Zoras, with all of them having completely different skin colors. Or I guess scale colors. But most of the NPCs look unique in some way. And considering how many there are in this game, it's a detail I'm very happy they added. I mean, I know it's a very small thing, but there are so many very small things that add up. Sword that seals the darkness? I have no idea what you're talking about. What sword? Never heard of that. A sword that seals the darkness waiting for its master? Well, I guess we'll have to find it at some point. We have other things to do, though. I mean, the lack of that sword doesn't seem to be holding us back, so we could probably do everything without it. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't going through the sequence just so we could actually listen to the Zora's Domain music, since you can't hear it when it's raining. Or, more specifically, you can't hear it until you defeat Water Blight. And now that that's over with, you can go pick up a weapon that will probably be of no significance to me. What's the other one I'm holding on to? Yeah, it's the boomerang. Goodbye, boomerang. I was hoping I could open the chest at the same point it came back. Oh, it disappears when you open the chest! No, that's lame. Oh well. So we have the light scale trident. I will probably use this one immediately and then break it and have them be angry at me, and that'll be that. But that's all I planned on doing for this session, since I have no way of knowing what the results of the second straw poll are, considering the fact that this is the same session I announced the straw poll in the first place. But I'd be lying if I said that Sidon wasn't actually helpful. And I'm glad that he turned out to be a better character than I initially thought he would be. But either way, this is UniversalGiant. And next time, we'll head after one of the other divine beasts that, for whatever reason, are no longer showing up on our map. There they are. So we'll either be going to the northwest, or the northeast, the northwest, or the southwest. Till then, I'll see you next time.